Hey friends, people often ask, where is God today anyway? And what's God up to? Well, when Jesus was teaching, he would often use everyday items like bread or wine or a coin to help us understand more fully who God was and how God is manifest in our world today. So this week, I'm going to share with you a plant. This is a gardenia that my sister sent to me for Christmas in 2019. Soon after it arrived, one bud bloomed and it smelled delicious. I was excited about having this new flowering plant. Yet pretty soon the leaves began to fall off one by one. I had no idea how to care for it, and nothing seemed to work, and pretty soon all the leaves, except maybe a few, had fallen off. I almost gave up completely and just threw it away, but for whatever reason, that spring, I just put it outside on the side of the garage and decided to deal with it later. Now, sometimes when we have an issue that we're struggling with, we just need time to figure it out. We need time or space to see things differently. Well, all of a sudden, then one day I noticed that there was new life, these green little leaves coming up from the branches that I thought were dead. How about that? So I just let it be. And sure enough, throughout that summer, all kinds of new growth appeared. It was my resurrection plant. It was pretty much dead, and it came back to life. Yet the problem is that gardenias can't handle being frozen outside, so I had to bring it indoors in the fall. And I had to learn a few things. It needed plenty of light. It's a tropical plant, so it needed plenty of moisture. It even had to be misted time and again. It did pretty well in my garden window, and then in the spring it began to bud, and it had like 10 or 12 buds on it. I was so excited for it to bloom. But then we had a couple of really hot days, and before I realized, it just got fried in the window, and all the leaves were scorched and the buds fell off. Oh, I was so disappointed. But spring was coming, and as soon as it was warm enough outside, I put it outside and I left it alone, and it came to life once again. Then it seemed like we had a repeat winter. The gardenia, though, never produced any buds. And in the spring, when we went away for a few days, it came home and once again, the leaves were dropping. It'd been another long winter. It was really getting frustrating. But as soon as it was warm enough, I put it outside again. And I wish I had before and after pictures because it did not look very good before. Yet it likes being outside and it came back to life. It's not perfect. If you notice it, it still has a few brown spots on the leaves, but it has a few buds. And with a bit of luck, these buds will bloom before the cold weather comes. So I call this my resurrection plant. But resurrection doesn't come easily. First something has to die. And that's never an easy process. It's full of pain and sadness and grief. And then you have to learn new things along the way. I had to learn how to care for this gardenia. I had to be patient. And it takes a long time for these leaves to grow and to fill in. And it still hasn't bloomed in almost 3 years. I have to be persistent. I have to be hopeful. So much in life can just dash our hopes. And it's easy to give up, to throw in the towel. Or we can choose to learn and to grow. I'm not a very good gardener. And I don't have a green thumb. Yet I have learned to take the time to ask questions and to be curious and to try new things. My husband says I rush things, but this plant has taught me that I cannot rush and I cannot force new life. Rather, I have to notice it and be aware of it and see how God is working in my life and in the world around me. I think we can learn a lot about God by just being attentive to our lives and how God is present with us. And I would love to know from you, what are you learning these days? How can we grow together? I am Reverend Melanie Enfield, the senior minister at the Church of Christ Congregational in Newington, Connecticut. Thanks for listening in. Stay curious. God is at work within you and within me both. Thanks be to God.